Let's talk about how AI image generation works. Let's say you type 11 words. A fox wearing a Victorian coat, drinking tea in the rain. You hit enter, and 5 seconds later you're looking at a painting. Soft lamplight, a cobblestone street reflecting puddles, and a fox mid-sip, coat collar turned up against the weather. No one drew it. No photographer staged it, and no artist spent hours on it. So what actually happened in those 5 seconds? Unlike traditional art, it doesn't start with a blank canvas. It starts with noise, visual static. Think of an old television that's lost its signal. Every pixel is a random color. No structure, no meaning, just chaos. And then step by step, the AI begins to remove that chaos. To understand it, think about it in reverse. Take a crisp photograph and slowly destroy it, adding layer after layer of grain until the original image is completely buried under that static. Now imagine running that process in reverse, from pure static and step by step recovering the coherent image. Well, that's what a diffusion model learned how to do. It was trained on millions of images, each one systematically buried in noise, and it learned at every stage how to reverse it, how to take something chaotic and pull it towards something coherent. So when you give it a prompt, it starts with that fresh screen of static and gradually clears it away until an image emerges. It doesn't retrieve images or copy them. It generates one from chaos, guided by your words. So how does a pile of math know what a fox in a Victorian coat is supposed to look like? When your prompt gets converted into its mathematical form, the translation doesn't just recognize individual words. It encodes the meaning of those words and the relationship between them. During training, the AI processed billions of pieces of text and learned how to recognize patterns, the same way that you learned that cold tends to appear near winter, snow, and coat, not because somebody wrote you a rule book, but because you saw those words together so many times that the relationship became intuitive. So when AI sees Victorian and fox and rain together, it doesn't recognize three separate words. It understands the cluster of meanings, the moods, the visual associations they carry together. And that understanding guides the denoising process. At every step, the AI clears the static. It's checking whether the emerging image aligns with the meaning it's extracted from your words. This is why prompt wording matters so much. An oil painting of a fox and a photo of a fox are completely different images, even though the subject is the same. The translation changed, so the guidance changed. The model wasn't born knowing what a fox looked like or what Victorian fashion looks like. It learned it all from billions and billions of images scraped from the internet and paired that with text descriptions. But it doesn't store those images. What it holds on to is something more like a visual compressed understanding. Imagine taking a billion paintings and putting them all into a blender. What comes out isn't any one of those paintings. It's something like, this is what Impressionism feels like. This is how light behaves in watercolor. This is the mood of a noir photograph. The individual images are gone, but what remains is the distilled essence of all of them. This is why Impressionist painting of a robot works. Impressionism went into the blender, robots went into the blender, and the model can pour them out together into something that never existed, but feels visually coherent. All of that visual knowledge came from human artists, painters, photographers, illustrators, designers, people who spent years developing skills and a style, and their work went into that blender. Their influence is baked into every image these models produce. The problem is that most of them weren't asked, and most of them weren't compensated. And that's an ongoing and genuinely unresolved conversation. Legally, ethically, and creatively, there are active lawsuits. There are artists who feel their work was taken without consent. There are others who see AI as the latest evolution of how art has always worked, every artist absorbing influence from those who came before. And there's just no clean answer here. What I will say is AI image generation is extraordinary at producing the expected. Give it a clear concept with a visual reference and it will execute with remarkable skill. But what it doesn't do is want something. It doesn't have an obsession it keeps returning to. It doesn't have a wound that shows up in everything it makes. It doesn't have a specific, unrepeatable perspective that comes from being a particular human who has had a particular life. The artists who will thrive are the ones who understand that distinction. So the next time you type a prompt and watch an image appear, here's what is actually happening. The model translates your word into mathematics, capturing the meaning and the relationships between them. It starts with pure visual static and step by step, guided by what it's learned by billions of human-made images, blended into compressed visual understanding. It clears that chaos away until something coherent emerges. It's not a painting, it's not an imagining, it's solving an equation, and the solution happens to look like art. Whether that is art is a question worth arguing about, and I suspect we will be arguing for a long time. If you have a moment, I'd really appreciate it if you'd like and either follow or subscribe. It really helps my channel out, and it helps me out. Thanks so much.